Welcome to the Spiritual Connection Podcast. I am your host, Jill. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about your energy, their energy, manifesting, mindset, creating high vibrational healing for you, body work, the importance of massage and self-care, and much, much more. Let's get rolling. Welcome back to Om Shanti Healing's podcast, The Spiritual Connection. I am so pleased and honored to have Cara Faith on this morning of Mystic Moon Channeler. She's going to talk to us today about her Stop Leaking Energy Syndrome steps to grounding and protecting ourselves. Good morning, Cara. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. I'm so honored to be with you and so wonderful to see you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to have some fun today. So I want to talk about this awesome 3-step protocol you have to help people that are highly sensitive. But
Yes.
before we begin, I want to hear a little backstory on you and how you discovered your sensitivities and how that brought you into being able to share your tools with others to help them.
Awesome. So I was a personal trainer, started when I was 19, and I worked pretty intimately with my clients, just meaning I just really wanted to help them with their mind, body, and soul. And so I'd really get to know them. And I knew I was spiritual, and I just, didn't really step into any specific religion. And so I just kept asking the universe of what is the next step for my clients? Because clients would come to me and saying I have cancer or I have this massive back pain and we're doing all these different things and I don't know how to really help heal it. And so I also was in a relationship with someone and he was just going through turmoil. And so I saw this book and it was called The Journey by Brandon Bays. And I started reading it, and my body and my soul just kept telling me, Cara, this is your next step as a personal trainer. And at the time, I was playing with oracle cards, and the cards kept telling me I'm a medicine woman and I'm supposed to go back to school, which I did not like because I had test anxiety in school. I was like, no, and that was my only known vision of school. And so I just kind of kept asking the universe, what are you talking about? Being a medicine woman, and I'm supposed to go back to school. So then with reading this book is by this other holistic woman who actually had a tumor in her stomach the size of a basketball. And she couldn't believe
Gosh.
it because she was so healthy. She's like, I live in Hawaii. I help all these clients. I eat holistically, da 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 da. So the doctors gave her like a few months to live and said, good luck. And so she was on a massage table, and her massage therapist said, did you go into the tumor and ask what it's from? She said, no, I did not. So they essentially created this process going into the tumor, discovering what was stored in there. And what was stored in there is a memory when she was like 4 years old of pretty much feeling abandoned. So, long story short, she heals it by going into forgiveness, hearing her inner child speak, hearing the people that, quote unquote, did that to her, hear their truth, really healed herself, bringing in this forgiveness. Tumor disappears. So she has all these stories of all these different clients who she has worked with, some even from like past lives of they just could not get rid of this rage in their body and their system and just who they are. And then she retrieves this past life, just hardship or whatever. And the person shifts and feels more at peace. So when I was reading it, I was just like, oh my God, I'm supposed to do this. In the back of her book is a script where she's like, you can be with a friend, do this for each other, and help your inner genius retrieve these memories that need to be healed. So it could be what's a fear that you have, or it could be what's an emotion that just keeps like rattling your cage. So I know I'm supposed to do this. I then bring clients to my home. I do it 3 or 4 times and I'm taking them through. They are purging their emotions and just like, oh, my back, now I'm feeling it. And now I'm feeling all these different emotions. They leave feeling close to God. That's the ultimate goal. Close to God, close to love, in source, and they feel so much better. I am in bed the next day. I feel so drained, so awful. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This is awful. What is going on? And I obviously had no idea about the power of energy tools, of protecting my space, them having their experience, me having my experience. Then, within a few months, Brandon Bays, the author, comes to Fort Collins. She's usually like around the world helping these with doing workshops and everything. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll just say I manifested that for myself. And it's this small little group. I meet this woman who is a practitioner. And so she does it for me. And so I get this free session. And by doing that free session, because she's like, what's a fear you have? And I said, I've always been afraid of getting lost. Like I could not leave my mom's side as a kid, and I still have that fear. So I went through that, relived my birth, discovered I had a twin brother that I didn't know about. That's another story. And then she just said, Cara, you are so clairvoyant, and so much of the energy that you deal with isn't yours. And you need to go to Ding-a-ling school, and you need to go to Psychic Horizons and learn these tools, how to clear up your space and how to really own your clairvoyance and feel more healed. And again, my body responded and it was like, yes, mom, take me there. And so that was even a stretch for me. Oh my God, to drive to Boulder, a place I didn't know. And so did that and did this whole year program. And they also saw my twin brother and all this. And I then just felt I had the veil removed from like who I am, what my life was like in a sense. And I just used these tools. And so now I could do readings on people and not be drained. And the more and more I did readings and kind of cleaned myself out, because the more you do readings, you're kind of seeing matching pictures and you just are helping the old junk just kind of move out of your system. I just became more and more sensitive. Like I discovered how sensitive I was with so many different kind of food, environment, being around people. So I'm now more of like a full-time intuitive and psychic medium, and I could not do it if I didn't have my energy tools. And so I just love holding that space for others of it's safe to be a sensitive soul, and it's so, in your highest and best to use it as your superpower. So then that's when my course, Creative Rituals for Sensitive Souls, came about, and I now get to teach people how to use these energy tools and how to really do these rituals to calm your nervous system and just access more of your intuition.
That's a beautiful thing. It's sometimes people don't even know how sensitive they are. I think that we all kind of innately have some empathic traits, right? And to whatever degree that we let that affect our lives, right? Taking on other people's energy. I know that I do struggle with it a little bit when I'm around crowds for too long.
Mhm.
It does kind of suck your energy and kind of take you down, make you feel heavy, right? And weighted and wears you out, can give you a headache and things. And these tools that you have to offer people for those that are listening will definitely benefit. I've done the course with Cara. I did it over at the Chamber of Commerce that she had a workshop over there and it was really beneficial. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for having that and showing people ways that they can protect themselves and feel better, as you say, because we all want to be there for others, right? We all want to be able to serve others and be there emotionally for others, but also protect ourselves at the same time and not let the giving of that take us down,
Yeah.
you know, and wear us out.
Right. And it can just be so hard to discern what is my energy and what is your energy. And so just that example of going to the grocery store, going to a party where you're like, I feel pretty good. I feel good. And then you go and you're like, whoa, why am I feeling irritable, frustrated, sad, angry? And this is not yours. You just picked up that sticky note and that like slimy little booger, and it's just stuck now in your energy field.
Mhm.
And how we especially do that with our family. It's just kind of what happens growing up, and just being that little sponge
Mhm.
and in school and just all the different systems that we're a part of. And it's just like we just take it in as ours. And we just have no idea how to have that filter.
Right. Right. The empath wants to save the world, right? And we want to help everybody, but it's to your own device is to create that kind of environment around you where you are the sponge and you soak everything up, because it's not your responsibility really to cure the world, to help everybody feel better. As a healer, it's the responsibility of teaching the tools for them to do it on their own, right? To empower them, to give them ways to take care of their own stuff where you're separated from it. But
Yeah.
when you first discover being sensitive, though, you do tend to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
challenging for me, like in crowds, when I'm in a big crowd of, like I was telling you, with all the networking I've been doing, it's like, oh my God, it's kicking my butt.
Yes.
It's like you can only put up your bubble, like you have to have your bubble and your protective space around you, and it has to be perpetually there, right? And you have to have it in your consciousness to keep it there.
Yes.
And if you let that awareness go and you become more open,
Yeah.
you're going to suck up, and I tend to pick up anger and anxiety from people because
Mhm.
that's the kind of stuff I need to work on. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Yeah.
like I'm vulnerable in that
Yep.
regard with other people's emotions.
Yep.
That's what like clings to me, like a
Mm-hmm.
layer of scum on my
Yeah.
body. It feels
Yeah.
like pores are clogged. My skin can't breathe,
Yep.
and it wears me down. Usually it gives me headaches and it just exhausts me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it matching pictures. And so I learned that in school of the clairvoyant school. And so when I was in the school and I was still a personal trainer, and then that's when I discovered my soul was like, I'm bored being a personal trainer. I did all these other things, but is that they would just say, really watch who you're attracting in your life. So for me, it was my personal training clients. And I didn't know how to process anger as a kid. I grew up in a home that was just so much about, let's be positive. We need to uplift people. We need to be the, happy-go-lucky people. And a lot of us, we don't feel safe feeling anger. We don't know how to really claim it, and we don't know if it's ours or not. So, so then I was really starting to watch when I was with my clients of who kind of carried that anger. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to help move this out of me. So then that's when I would use one of the tools is the rose. And so that's when I would call out the big rose that is as big as me. So energetically, so I'm envisioning this, not just a little literal size rose. So then I would see my client, be talking to my client, and she would just be kind of carrying that anger vibe in her body language and maybe talking about it. And so I would just put the big rose in between us and also let her have her experience, me have my experience as her personal trainer, but also to notice that and be like, ooh, there's a healing kind of opportunity here for me to really see her space and be like, well, she has anger. I have anger. And I have anger in my body that probably isn't mine, and some of it is mine. So, for the energy that isn't mine, that I've been carrying around from who knows all over the place from my life, I am going to call out the energy that I see in her that matches my energy in my body and call it into this rose. And so when I was working with her and helping her lift her biceps, I was like doing this also energetic practice of pulling out this anger out of my body. And then you have to do something with this rose. It gets full. So then you get to actually blow up something and feel powerful. So I just blow up the energy, pop it into sparkles, goes back to the center of the earth. And then if I'm like, oh, there's some more, then I call out the rage and I'm just cleaning out my system and doing this of helping it from all these years of feeling clogged and not knowing it. And so I see it in so many different beautiful ways now. And whoever I attract as a private intuitive client, there's pretty much always matching pictures. But it's like I benefit them by bringing to them what they need to hear, and I see their soul. And then it benefits me because I get to have that hello aspect of I see you to my client, And I see me to myself of that matching picture. And I get to use my roses at the end of the session and call out the matching pictures to help me continue to be in the present moment, to move forward, to call in the new. And so for me, going to networking events and parties and whatever, like being in my bubble just isn't enough. Like I gotta like have a big rose in front of me and ground it, to the left of me, behind me, and really let them also hold space, and also call them to what vibration do I want them to be set at. I think that's really fun. So it's like I am a co-creator. I get to manifest the experience and the vibration that I want. So these roses, they're very high vibration. Rose oils are like the highest vibration you can get of an essential oil. And so when you have this rose energy in front of you and you get to set it to kind of like a radio station, well, what do I want to experience? I just want to be surrounded by joy. And you just hear that within your body and you say, okay. So then all my roses can be setting the vibration of joy. You do it in your home. You know, I do readings in my home, I do readings in an office. So I have to set up the office with these big old roses in all corners of the space so that I can really access my intuition for my client. And so I can really help hold the space to a high vibration. Because if I walk into a space and there's just so much energy dumped into it from a fight, from clutter, from, just a lot of people and a lot of different energy. And I'm trying to do like mediumship, connecting to the other side. And I haven't cleaned out myself and I don't have any energy tools. Like, good luck. Like, I'm probably not going to be able to connect to the other side because spirit is such high vibration. So I have to meet that vibration in order to call it in and to do a reading for someone. So that's why I'm just all about these tools to help us clean up the space, call in a high vibration, and how to stay grounded and to manifest things and to be a sensitive soul. I feel we got to be grounded, and that's the root chakra.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the visual aid, of being able to kind of put your energy into something, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
remove it from my chest, remove it from the head, remove it from wherever you're storing it
yeah,
and put it over here into something else. Just
yeah.
the act of kind of visualizing it coming out of your body and going outside of your body somewhere else into another container
Yes,
is
exactly.
hugely
Yeah.
uplifting. Like it makes me feel like I could breathe better
Yes. I
and the
love
chest
that.
isn't so heavy. It's a
Yeah.
lovely reminder. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's like the visual that I've been given and I love to teach my people is a lot of us are just walking around with all these sticky notes all over our body because you just went to the grocery store and now you grabbed like those five people's energy. And then you're listening to the news and you have all that buzz and maybe yuckiness all over your body. You just talk to your partner, you talk to your kids. You're just full of sticky notes. And then you're trying to access your intuition. You're trying to ask, how do I actually feel right now? Most people, unfortunately, don't even ask that in a day. For one, it's terrifying, could be. For two, it's how do I even access that? How do I get in the body? So I'm so grateful for myself that I've had a passion for the body. I'm such a woohoo person, but I love that like my birth chart, I have so much earth in me and just being that personal trainer. So I'm like, I love helping sensitive souls stay in the body because as sensitive souls, it's so much more likely to have addictions, to totally be depressed. And so because it's like, I can't feel all this. I don't know what to do with all this. I gotta escape. So a lot of sensitive souls, they feel like we have to escape the body. So I'm going to get addicted to drugs and alcohol and whatever. But it's like, okay, I so want to help you feel safe in your body and how to know it. There are tools to remove this energy that isn't yours, these emotions, and how to process the emotions that are yours of like, yeah, I, Cara, feel angry right now and enraged. Does that feel correct? Is it mine? Yep, sure is. Okay, then let's talk about how do you move that through your body. So, I love tuning into my clients and their body just tells me what they need. But one that I really want to share with you is, and it's really helps the root chakra, is stomping. So moving your legs, getting up, putting on music. Like I just did this. I'm in my Creative Rituals for Sensitive Souls course right now. And so we start with the root chakra. That's the grounding part. That's what's so essential. And we stood up and we stomped to some beautiful song. And one woman was like, it's been so hard for me to access my root chakra. But that I just finally felt it. And that was like everything. I was so excited for her. And just, it's like, yes, it is everything. That's why it's our foundation. We have to feel safe and stable. And even if we just 40% do, but we used to feel only 10%, great, because it is a lot of work and we do have to go through a lot of layers to really feel that ultimate safety. But yeah, if you're feeling angry, just asking the body, okay, what do I need to do to really move this and be in my power about it? Because anger is such a powerful emotion when it's ours and when we use it in such a, positive way. And anger can really sit in your third chakra. That's your fire element. That's your moving forward. That's your follow through. So if we have stuck anger stagnant, and we're like, I can't feel it, I can't feel it, I can't feel it. And then you're trying to move forward, it's going to be really hard. But it's how to access that and maybe stomp and listen to music and let out some sounds, let out some breath, and just own your anger. And then it's like, now I know what is my yes, where I do want to go. Now I know what is my no. It's like, and then you get to the next emotion underneath that. So yes, cheers to stomping. Have you ever stomped, Jill? Are you a stomper?
Well, I guess not intentionally. I dance. Does that count?
Yes.
You're inspiring me to jump up and down and stomp. Like Tony Robbins does that before all of his speaks. He says he jumps like 1,000 times on stage and it moves his energy out,
Wow. That's a
you
lot of
know?
stomping. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
he's a big guy.
Definitely after that.
Yeah. So I can see the value in it. And it's and interesting, like as we get older, we lose that ability to jump,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Oh
Like our
God.
knees start to weaken, and the weight of the world over the years just piles on top, and we no longer can elevate off the ground, you know?
Yeah.
And then we need knee replacements and hip replacements and all that stuff. So I can see the value in what you're saying and just moving the lower body, right? Moving the energy, and getting things shooken up a little bit,
Yep. Yeah.
right?
And just really trying to sit in your third eye, even if you're kind of new to that, but just going to that space between your eyes, like in your forehead, that's your sixth chakra, that's your intuition, that's your discernment. That's essentially where I like to say, sit on your throne and manifest. And it was so fascinating. I literally remember as a kid, I had no idea I was intuitive. I had no idea I was a psychic medium. Luckily, I didn't see like spirits and stuff. Um, but I would see myself sitting on a rocker chair in the center of my head and I would talk to her. Like we would like have conversations. So then when I went to psychic school and they're like, now you're going to go to the center of your head and this is where you sit and, really see things clearly, have that owl vision. And I was like, oh my God, I knew that as a kid. Way to go, little kid. So to have that vision of yourself just kind of sitting there and then just asking your body like how do you want to move this anger, just show me. And if you just kind of see your legs like yeah they do want to just stomp and move and or maybe even just go and throw rocks or there's so many different ways to move the anger and just to have or just whatever emotion you're feeling that feels like
Mhm.
okay I'm ready to move this through my body.
Or running, you
Yeah.
know, running around the block a couple times. It's I have some clients for massage that are long distance runners, and they tell me that that is their meditation.
Yeah.
That's where they clear their head, right? And they run and they're moving and they're moving the energy, and that's where they go to numb out, in a sense. That's like their addiction,
Yeah.
to clear out any energy that's kind of lingering inside their body. The running helps them move it.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm just so much about the body moving and whatever that looks like to
Mm-hmm.
you. Whatever
Whatever
that
your flavor may be for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just so much with the root chakra of just the grounding cord. I don't know if you remember that, but that's like the second tool that, pretty much all my people that I teach it to, they're like, oh my God, like someone just said last night, she's like, I don't know where I've been without my grounding cord. She's like, this is just everything to me. And I'm like, yeah, it's just, it so helps me stay so tethered. I love using that term as a sensitive soul to stay tethered to the earth
Mm.
and to not feel drifty and floaty and just like, where am I? Who am I? It's like, oh, yes, the root chakra is the earth element, and how to stay so connected to that mother. And for especially, people who are like, I don't feel close to my mom. Like I don't know what that means to feel nurtured. Go to Mother Earth, like go to that abundant, plentiful energy of Mother Earth and really call in. I like to use a tree trunk. You can use a tree trunk, a waterfall, maybe even like a slide, a tube, and you just call it in to connect, to lock in to your root chakra, the base of your spine, and then enlarge it. It's got to be at least as wide as your hips. And then it goes all the way down to the center of the earth. And it's like a toilet flush. It's flushing out, again, another way to flush out the energy that isn't yours or you've processed it and you're done. And also just to be present, to be here, to not be so much in the head. And it really helps people ground. So when you're in a state of anxiety, it's like, oh my God, please go sit on your grounding cord. And if you need to widen it, widen it. Like I was reminded of that when my partner was in a massive car accident and I was 4 hours away from her, and it was just very nerve-wracking. And so I called a dear friend of mine who also did the school, and she said, Cara, you need to widen your grounding cord right now to the size of Texas. And I was like, oh, that's right. It can be as big as Texas. So it's like it's not going to make sense logically, but it doesn't matter. Like your guides know, your body knows, the energy knows. And it can just slow down your energy. It can even help your heart rate. And so for me, when I set up and do readings, a lot of times I just hear my body's intuition say, your grounding cord needs to be like 10 times as big as your house. Okay. So I set it to that. And I'm just, because I'm really holding space. And if I just have this puny little grounding cord that's not even as wide as my hips, like, oh, I'm just not going to feel very centered, and just who knows how drained I would feel. So just to know that if you're traveling, if you're with all these work people, if you're in argument, if you are in crisis, like bless you, and just call in your grounding cord. And the more you practice these tools, again, your guides and your body are just to be like, okay, thanks. We know what that means. Got it. And whatever you need to have reminders, it's like I have a rose on my water glass, and a client just got that. And you can have a tree sticker on your water glass. Ground, ground, ground. So that's my big go-to with grounding. And do you have a tool you use with grounding?
Yeah, like at the beginning of it takes me back to when I wasn't so great at it at the beginning of my career right out of energy healing school. they talked about the cord, and grounding, and that really wasn't, I mean, the cord wasn't doing it for me either, and it took me years to figure out, to turn that, because they never really described it as like make it as big as you need to make it as wide as your hips or wider. It was all just a plumb line kind of a visual, right? So that is clearly, like, for some maybe it works, but it wasn't enough for me. It wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
So the energy for me had, like, that cord had to get bigger, and it was almost like, to me, it almost felt like a tube. It was a tube for a few years, where it was like a siphon kind of a feeling, where I'd pull the energy from the top of my head and push it down
Mhm.
out of my body and into the earth. And
Mhm.
that to me helped ground me, as opposed to pulling it up from the earth, which some people ground that way.
Yeah, both,
But
totally.
for me, it felt like an anchoring if I just brought it downward from the top. So as the years went on, that it turned from like this, envisioned, one advice that I got was envision a PVC pipe and make that PVC pipe as big in diameter as you want. And I'm like, that's great that it's got, like, it's cylindrical and it's open, but I don't want it to be plastic. So it ended up, the evolution of this is me kind of like feeling like anchored into like a tree trunk kind of a feeling, which is clearly not hollow on the inside, but the solid foundation underneath me of envisioning me sitting just on a tree trunk, or sometimes on the earth, like straight on the dirt, really helped me to, like, create a pathway for the energy to flow into it and absorb it, if you will, like, and take it out of me. And that helps a lot to clear out the funk, of the day, and get me grounded in a way that makes me feel good. And then once I, like, that energy goes way past my feet, I envision it going to the earth, the center of the earth. And then I breathe in and it circles back up and around my head. And that's where I create my big bubble
Mhm.
of protection. And I visualize it's like a beautiful iridescent, like, soapy bubble, right? You can see through it. It's got hues of purple and green and pink, and that is my visual for my protection. But I have to anchor down first
Yep,
before I can do that.
yep.
And I've gotten pretty good at it over the 20 plus years I've been doing energy work, where it can happen within a few breaths. But sometimes I forget to do it, or I get distracted with the chaos of my day,
Mhm.
and I don't acknowledge it being there. And then once I do, like, check in, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I feel tired right now, because I'm not asking it to be there, and the perpetualness of it staying kind of fades if I get distracted,
Mhm.
right, with conversation or activity or whatever. So I have to, it's a constant reminder of put it up, anchor down, put it up, and then it really is effective if I can
Yes,
if I can recall it and keep it, at top of mind.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I love that. And yeah, I pretty much always have to envision me sitting on a tree trunk too.
Mhm.
Like,
I
okay,
love that feeling.
sit
It's
there on my
just,
tree trunk.
it really, because the roots of the tree trunk come down into the earth, right? And it kind of helps, right? Doesn't it? Kind of helps you just kind of get a grip, if you will, to
Yes.
the earth, and just really connects you that way. So I love just being on the ground or on a tree trunk or on sand. Like, I have a lake by my house. I go sit down on the sand by the water, and being on the ground helps.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean that's what I teach all my sensitive clients, and especially in my course, is the quickest way to get yourself grounded and rooted and to really help yourself feel safe and stable and help the body heal itself and to help you manifest what you want to manifest is going and sitting on the earth, or take your little shoes off and just pull up energy, go charge your feet. That's what our ancestors did so many years ago, and we're so far away from it. The breath of the earth is covered up. and we are so buzzed out. And it is not natural for any of us, but especially sensitive little people, to just always be in contact with this electromagnetic field, and it just zaps us. And so we, quote unquote, have to go ground to help our hormones, to help our system know how to heal itself, and to root us down so we can make sound decisions, so we can connect with other people. And so to do that, again, just go sit on the earth, go touch a tree, take your shoes off, call up energy just to come up through your little feet chakras. And even if you can do that for 10 minutes, it's massive. And I just highly recommend people to look up the movie on YouTube, Earthing, and how it's just all about, and it's not really that well known because it's free. Like, you just go outside and, wherever you can find some earth, and that so many different people that have different ailments can be really treated and balanced and calmed. And with so many people who have ADHD and just feel like, it's like, oh my God, go ground, go outside, get your little feet. You
Yeah.
gotta have a connection with it's great to be outside, that's healing in itself, but you really have to have your body connected to the earth. So thinking of it like a plug.
Without your shoes in the way.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for you, Cara. This is such a beautiful reminder,
Good.
that we all need to do more of this, and
Yeah.
just to feel the effects of it and how it really does help. It
Yeah.
really does calm the nervous system. And it's like, it's where we're literally rooted into the earth and where we came from,
Yep.
right?
Totally.
Like our ancestors, like you said, hunting, gathering before they had shoes. They were on the earth, they were outside all day, surviving.
Yep.
There
Yep.
wasn't all the distraction,
Yeah.
you know. They were focused clearly, on one thing, which is food and,
Yes.
safety, right? So thank you so much. It's a beautiful reminder
So welcome.
of how important it is for us to remember that it's right outside the door.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
We're holding the space to share
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So we talked about your rooting and the
Mhm.
root chakra and the roses. Is there another?
So the other one is the sun. So
Mm.
the sun is another way to really replenish and fill yourself up. So I love doing this at the end of my sessions for my clients to really set the intention to fill the sun. I just call it a gold honey nectar sun, is what I say, above your head, and to let it kind of absorb all the energy and messages from the reading. So, for anyone listening, if it's like, okay, I just want to absorb or manifest all this love, or if someone just really complimented me, I just really want to put that in this golden sun, or I want to absorb just the little nuggets that I've learned from this conversation. I'm going to put this in this golden sun, and it's another way to also check in with your havingness, because we don't often look at that, and we all have different kind of, pie sizes of how much can I have in life. So to check in with your golden sun of, is it just this little circle above your head? Can you make it 10 times bigger? Can your nervous system handle that? Can your mind handle that and accept that? So to really open up, make it even bigger, and put in your golden sun a magnet to call your energy back home. Because we just think of, like, fairy dust. We just sprinkle our energy all over the place, and then we're what? Drained. So put a little magnet in that sun and just set the intention, bring me back home. And put in that sun whatever you want. Sparkles, miracles, if you want something specific. I want to experience this. I want a client. I want a work lead. I want to go on a date. I want to have a wonderful conversation. And then you pop it and you allow yourself to fill yourself up and tell all your energy bodies tell your cells, tell your blood, tell your bones, I can absorb this and take this in and just drink it in and watch it go down your back, down all of your chakras, cleaning them out, bringing in balance, going down the arms, down the legs, front and back, soothing and healing any joints, out your feet, around your aura, and being in this golden nest that you co-created with spirit, and giving yourself a prayer and a blessing of it is safe for me to have this abundance and this magic and this miracles right now. It is safe for me to have this wonderful experience of feeling rooted and grounded and in my own vibration and owning who I am. I am owning who I am. And so it is.
Love it. That felt very, very good. Thank you for that.
Even more sparkly. Yeah, just adds to the sparkles.
What great reminders for everybody that, has a chaotic day.
Yeah.
And to step back and reassess.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in love with them. I'm so grateful. Again, I didn't make these up, but it's from the clairvoyant school, and I've just taken them and ran with them. And I'm so grateful.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, you mentioned oracle cards. Let's kind of shift direction and tell the audience what oracle cards are and how you use them.
Okay. Gosh, how would I describe oracle cards? So oracle cards, I have, we'll say like 20 of them, different decks. And so each artist and would just kind of like writer, would you say, author, they just give you all these different beautiful messages of sometimes, angels. Sometimes it has to do like with these are masters of light, the ones I have today. I have tree ones. So they're just another way to really allow yourself to drop in, ask spirit, whatever you believe in, spirit, guide, fairies, angels, God, your higher self, to bring you direction on, even if it's like, what do I need to know right now? Give me a focus, help me ground, give me a mantra, give me something to focus on so I don't like spiral out. Or specifically, what do I need to know right now for this month? What do I need to know right now for my health? So how I play with them is I just shuffle and they fly out. And I love using them essentially at the end of my readings that I give clients. So I just kind of, call in their soul and all this other stuff comes out. And then the oracle cards validate what was said. And so it really gives that yes. And it also gives them a beautiful painting, picture of the card. And then it also gives them writing that might even, elaborate on what I said, give them a different perspective. And it's a really quick way to be playful. Like, I just love that they're just so playful. And so like for you, I have these Masters of Light, and these are by another local Fort Collins intuitive and illustrator. And her name is Catherine Skaggs. You heard of her?
Yes. I have a box of her cards.
Yeah. Do you have these?
No, I do not.
Cool. So these are new ones to use. That would be fun. So, yeah, I mean, tarot, like I have one box, but that's more of you. I think you pretty much always have like the ace and the swords and it's always kind of the same type of series. But the oracle, they don't usually have numbers. It's just kind of like, okay, it's just what one card or two card, are you supposed to kind of pull or fall. And I don't really do spreads, like especially with tarot, they have different spreads that you can do. So I just kind of let whatever wants to fall, and then it just kind of speaks its truth.
So fun.
So, do you want me to play with you?
Yeah. Yeah, shuffle away. Do I need to ask you a question?
Oh, if you want to, or I can just ask, what does Jill need to know right now? It's your choice.
Okay. Yeah, just the guidance of the universe for my future. That would be great.
Okay.
What do I need right now in this moment to be everything I need to be?
Okay. And I love
no pressure.
no pressure. Tell us everything.
Tell us all of it, all the wisdom of the universe.
And her book is so perfect because it has rituals, and I'm obsessed with rituals. And so then we'll read about what the ritual is recommended for you.
Okay. Yeah.
So okay. I feel like more than one is going to fall, but we'll see. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Oh my God, you got the abundance card. You're all is well, Jill. Look at, and that matches your painting behind you of that, like your door, all those colors. Amazing. Okay, so you got Archangel Ariel. Abundance. Dream big. It's time. This is hilarious. It is time to ground. There it has our word. Your heavenly dreams to the earth. Well, that summarizes what we're talking about.
Heck yeah.
And then it has her beautiful third eye. Okay, so now I'm just going to look in the book under abundance. So then it talks all about the Archangel Ariel, and it just talks about your hopes and your dreams and how to manifest them. And then it says, be curious and open. Imagine how amazing and blessed it can get. Everything is connected. The universe and quantum field conspire to bring your dreams to form as they align with your energy, thoughts, and emotions. Beautiful. It is time to say yes and align with your value, worthiness, and happiness. Receive. That's what we just did with the golden sun. So the ceremony and ritual. Yes, create an abundance altar, all about altars. Place a beautiful cloth as the foundation of your altar. Put quartz crystals in the east for possibility and clear intentions. Rose quartz in the south for love. Obsidian in the west to clear negativity and protect your dreams. Amethyst in the north for spiritual wealth and wisdom. And jade in the center for good fortune. Add items of meaning to increase energy and focus. Bless your intentions, dreams, and prayers daily with gratitude and loving attention. Oh my God, could that be any more perfect? Yay!
So awesome.
And
Thank
so it
you.
is.
Thank you, Cara.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of
That
it.
was the perfect card.
There it is. Yeah, and I'm obsessed with altars. So
I have all those stones. So I will be
sure you
set that
do.
up in my office.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Well,
exciting.
thank you so much, Cara.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
So
So
fun to
fun.
hang out with you and share in your wisdom and have
Yes.
you teach and inspire the audience.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You have a website and some courses. So will you please share those with the listeners?
Yes. So my website is carafaithintuitive.com. And then on there, you can just learn about my individual sessions. So I do in person if you're in Fort Collins, and then I do online. And then I do sometimes group channeled meditations. So those are big healings. So when those are available, then those will be on my website. I do group mediumship also locally with people in person. And then I do my course. So I'm doing that now. It's live. It's like with a group of us, and that's Creative Rituals for Sensitive Souls. And then I think I'll only do that once this year, but I will be bringing in an evergreen one where you can purchase it and do this 6 week for all these chakras and really learn these tools and really do these very deep channeled meditations that help bring into balance and activate all of the main 6 chakras. So I plan on having that available this year too.
Fabulous. Wonderful. So I will put all of Cara's information down in the show notes for you guys to refer to. And you can certainly reach out to her for any healing needed or connection you want with spirit. And that is all for today, folks. Thank you for being here and stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and have a beautiful week. That's a wrap for today, folks. Thanks for spending the time with me. And don't forget to check the notifications below on my social media links, my YouTube channel with self-care and meditations, as well as my omshantihealing.com website, where you can get info on spiritual coaching and my online courses. And as always, if you do enjoy my podcast, don't forget to subscribe or sponsor below. We'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.